Welcome to Voices of Experience, the podcast of the National Speakers Association. I'm your host, Crystal Washington. Today we have a treat for you. In this episode, we'll learn about the Planner Speakers Bureau perspective. Glen Guyton, who manages an event with over 4,000 attendees, will share what you can do from an event planner's perspective to get more bookings. Jeannette Smith, Vice President at Leading Authority Speakers Bureau, will enlighten us about what speaker bureaus want and value in speaker partnerships. Let's dive right in. Today on Voices of Experience, we have Glen Guyton, who speaks 25 to 30 times per year and manages an event that brings over 4,000 participants together that has a 7-figure operating budget. Today, Glen is going to share with us how we can planner-proof our presentations. Thanks for being here today, Glen.
It is so wonderful to be here with you today, Crystal.
Oh, that was, now that so much energy came out of that, I feel a little bit of pressure. Let's dive into it. First question for you. What are the top 3 mistakes you've seen speakers make in working with a professional organization?
Well, one of the things is too many handoffs. You know, if I can't get in touch with you or the right person on your team, if I have to go through 3 or 4 different levels, it's just hard for us to do business. I know you're important. I know you're fancy and all that stuff, but really the planner needs to be able to get in touch with you to share information with you.
Okay.
And the other thing is responsiveness. Sometimes it's kind of like you sign the deal and then people go ghost.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know, I need to be able to get in touch with you. And if you're busy, I understand that, but make sure that you set some milestones along the way so that we can communicate with each other. It's important. You're busy. The planner is busy. We're all busy. Let's plan some time to get together.
Okay.
And the other thing, speakers, that you need to remember is once you're mic'd, the mic is hot.
Uh-oh.
And we hear everything that you say. So if you say inappropriate things, if you're talking about the audio crew or if you're talking about the planner, all that is heard, and sometimes it's recorded.
Have you had that happen before?
Oh, yes, of course. And sometimes I've even forgotten that I have that hot mic. So be careful, and if you have to go take a potty break, hey, the mic is on.
I've actually seen that before.
Yeah, we're listening.
And the restroom was right next to the room, so it was very uncomfortable, and the AV team didn't catch it.
And sometimes the AV team messes up and they hit the on button.
Oh, no.
And the wrong things come out.
Oh, no. Okay, so let's move on from that one.
All right.
What should speakers do ahead of time to ensure AV and all necessary needs are communicated effectively?
All right. Now, this depends on your amount of techiness in your show. Okay. So if you have a really high-tech event, make sure you have a good rider. All those things should be clear. If you have some specific things that you like or don't like if you have little ears and the mic doesn't fit on your head.
Okay, Glen's making a joke about me because that's me. That's actually in my materials. My ears are little. I cannot do Madonna mics. They don't work. Right.
So if that's a problem and you know it, make sure you communicate that ahead of time. Make sure that's clear in your rider. If you use a Mac and you are a training workshop speaker, make sure you have your cables because a planner doesn't want to pay for your cables when you take them. Okay. When you take the cables that I bought, right?
Oh.
So bring your own Mac cables, and if you have some special, sophisticated connections, bring that stuff because the AV company may or may not have those things on site. Always check your tech and learn how presenter view works on PowerPoint. I can't tell you how many presentations have stopped because I can't find my stuff.
Right.
Learn how those things work. Learn how PowerPoint works. What colors. Like I've been in presentations, very professional presentations, where the colors just don't work.
Oh, what do you mean by the colors don't work?
The colors don't work on the screen. You can't see the contrast on a huge screen.
Okay.
Go buy yourself a $200 projector off of Amazon. Okay. Paint one wall in your house white. Okay. And show your presentation. Okay. It's that simple. And also know that serif fonts and sans serif fonts work differently. Right. They blur out. So just little things like that. Know your tech.
Okay. So what are above and beyond things you've seen speakers do that can wow their clients?
Yeah, I think the follow-up is really the key. Okay. Just following up with your client if you want to get rebooked is just so important because it's a million speakers to choose from. Right. What's going to make you connect to me? That follow-up is so important because I do bring speakers back if they have a good connection with my audience. If you want to be a one-time speaker, get your check. Don't say anything else to me. Okay. The other thing is just don't be a jerk.
Wait, so it's above and beyond to not be a jerk nowadays?
Yes. I have worked with some divas in my lifetime, and those divas don't get invited back.
Okay.
Don't be a diva. Okay, things aren't as perfect as you like them at the sound check.
Right.
It could be a number of things that you don't know going on.
Right.
We as planners have to go with the flow. We need you to go with the flow. We don't need you to be a problem.
Okay.
When I'm managing 50 other presentations, and I know your one is great. We don't want to mess up your brand. It's not intentional, so don't be a jerk. Let's get through it. Clearly communicate what's going on, and do some research on your group. Just know the pitfalls, because I've had people download logos and things that were actually offensive to our group. Like they downloaded a logo for a group that was a protest group instead of our group. Yeah, so I've had to go and say, hey, no, you can't use this. Let's take these things down. Or no, you can't wear that because that would be offensive to this part of our constituency.
Okay.
So just things like that. Just do a little research and just always ask the planner.
Okay. So the speaker AV kit.
Yes, I love it. And
what should be in it? What needs to? So we have some type of little kit, and you talked about having the cables or dongles. What all should be in there?
So a multi-port video adapter, because if you are using your own laptop. Some people still use VGA. I know it's crazy, but some people still use VGA. Make sure you have a presenter with extra batteries.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be worried about your batteries.
Okay.
Cables, of course. If you are a female, or you're just you just dress differently as a male and don't wear a belt, you may need to have a little band or something where people can connect the microphone pack to you.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, because I've just seen people struggle. So you can be cute, but be cute with a strap or some kind of microphone belt. And they sell them on Amazon and other places.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if you're really worried about the mic, because sometimes it's really uncomfortable how the mic fits and you get that little clicking, tapping noise.
Yes.
Travel with some surgical tape.
Okay.
And a little surgical tape, if they don't have the clip, sometimes people don't have the clips, a little surgical tape will help and keep that mic secure, and it won't distract you during your performance.
Perfect. Is there any other advice that you'd want to add and give to speakers?
Yeah, one thing, keep it really simple. So if you have to transfer files, make sure you just label them. Don't have 20 files on one USB. Label it Joe, 10 o'clock, presentation.
Okay.
That's simple.
Okay.
And that saves tons and tons of issues from people uploading the wrong files. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Glen Guyton, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us as speakers understand the planner perspective so that we can planner-proof our presentations.
All right.
It's time to switch gears from the planner perspective to what bureaus want in speaker partnerships. Today on Voices of Experience, we have Jeannette Smith, Vice President with Leading Authorities. Now, Jeannette has actually been with Leading Authorities now for 5 years. She has been a Vice President for the last 2. Leading Authorities, in my opinion, from my experience, is one of the best bureaus out there in the business because of the way that they treat both their talent as well as their customers and the level of service that is provided. And so I thought that there was no one better to speak to us today about working with a reputable speakers bureau. So thank you so much for joining us today, Jeannette.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Are bureaus all virtually the same, or do they have different offerings and procedures?
Sure. So every bureau is going to be a little bit different. I would say there's bureaus like ours. I'd say one of the main differences is some bureaus like ours have an exclusive roster of talent where we're working with some, a big chunk of our talent that we work with is on an exclusive basis. There are other bureaus that purely work with non-exclusive talent. There are other like Hollywood agencies that are working with, celebrities that are, they're only working with purely exclusive talent. So I'd say that's one of the main differences. There's also in that price differentials. There are some bureaus that most of their exclusive talent ranges in the 10 to 50K range. There are certain bureaus that specialize in the under 5K range or like the 50, 75, 100K plus range.
Okay.
I'd say one of the other differences just in terms of the inner workings. So there's several differences between different bureaus. But reputation is key. Looking at a bureau's exclusive roster is key. Looking at the types of people that, a bureau is working with will a lot of times signal a lot about their reputation. There's also some bureaus, and I don't want to name them, but who's, they have a strategy where they throw anyone and anyone up on their website, sort of playing against the rules of exclusive representation as almost like a bait and switch. Yep. So there's those kind of interesting characters out there too, that generate their book of business essentially by baiting you into their website with a whole bunch of Google ads, essentially trying to sell you something that they can't necessarily offer, but they use it to draw you in and sell you somebody else.
Okay.
So all sorts of different, there's all sorts of different players out there.
Have you seen, or do you have an opinion on, I know sometimes when speakers are starting, they ask me about, what about these? It's a bureau contacted me about a paid listing. And I'm always like, what? Do you see that with the larger bureaus, or is that not really a thing with the bigger ones when people have to pay to be listed? What is your opinion on that?
Oh, interesting. We don't do that. Sort of how we work is we essentially work for free until a client books something.
Okay.
So we represent and work with a speaker at no cost. Mm-hmm. And we, and we work with clients, getting them as many ideas, jumping through as many hoops as they need us to. Mm-hmm. And then we get paid a commission when it books, when a deal gets together.
What does a bureau look for in speaker partners, and how does a speaker know if they're even ready to partner with a bureau?
Sure. So ultimately, the role of the bureau is we want to make money for everybody, mm-hmm. right? So I think one of the most important things right off the bat is just being an excellent, engaging speaker, being able to hold an audience for a full 45 to 60 minutes with ideally some type of lively presentation. Mm-hmm. Talking on having a subject matter that's in demand with a credible background, whether it's a best-selling book or someone who has demonstrated experience in a certain field, and ideally someone that drives traffic to our website. So for whatever, whether it's the subject matter that maybe people are interested in and looking around on the internet for, and they come upon you, or whether it's your name recognition.
Okay.
So we work with speakers in an exclusive and a non-exclusive basis. For the exclusive speakers, ideally, there is some name recognition and some existing demand. And then our role is to essentially support you with marketing materials, enhance your promotion, and give you some dedicated logistics. For a non-exclusive speaker, usually this person already has an existing infrastructure, mm-hmm. your website, your marketing materials, you have some business, and you're just looking to heighten that. You're looking to expand it, get out there more, maybe charge more, maybe be more strategic in the type of things that you accept. Mm-hmm. Sales agents, we're usually working with clients, I would say about 75% of the time, clients come to us and say, we are looking for a speaker on X topic. Can you make some recommendations?
Okay.
At least for our bureau, it's less of, hey, send me, I really want this person X, send me the contract, and we broker the deal. More or less, it's collaborative consulting to find the right person.
When you think about some of your best speakers, what are the things, some of the things they've done where you're just like, oh my gosh, we have got to keep them on the roster, exclusive and non-exclusive?
Sure. So first, actually, there's one thing that is just so helpful that non-exclusive speakers can do that make our lives so much easier. And that's having some price integrity, mm-hmm. essentially charging the same fee. So we're not competing. So the bureau and the talent are not necessarily competing against one another. But I'd say one of the trickiest parts of this market is, when we're working with a client and we're doing a proposal recommendations, and that person goes, oh, I wonder if I can go cheaper direct, mm-hmm. And so sometimes that happens. And so it just makes our lives so much easier, because ultimately our goal is to be able to get you more money than you would have otherwise gotten having taken something direct.
Right.
And so that's, I'd say, number one is setting sort of fee boundaries for yourself, mm-hmm. that, where if someone comes to you, that's totally fine. if a bureau is quoting you, that we're both quoting the same price.
Okay.
And that just makes our lives so much easier. For actually on site, I mean, I think, or, working with partnership in general, first, I'd say eagerness to accept offers. Speakers that sort of can move heaven and earth to make an offer happen is amazing. It's just, there's nothing like the disappointment of going through a full offer and then finding out it's, an anniversary or a birthday or something that, that doesn't work on a personal calendar. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Having insights on calendar and stuff like that's always super helpful. And then, just the ability to customize, the flexibility to get on a pre-event call or to, a lot of times I get a lot of great feedback on speakers who are genuinely engaged in the event as a whole, being willing to go grab a drink or walk around the trade show or pop into other sessions or do a meet and greet, something like that. Those are always super well received. And then this is just silly and obvious, but you'd be shocked at sometimes the things we see, but just being punctual.
Oh no, you have issues with people like
for pre-event calls, just little courtesy things for the meeting planners, just being easy to work with, like a simple text when you land, being like, I'm here, I'm checking into my hotel, I'm good, I will be there for AV at 8 a.m. Just being cognizant of the schedule. There's nothing like texting a speaker being like, where are you? And then like not hearing back. And then you've got like frantic calls at, and that type of stuff does happen. So just being alert to and aware of the logistics portion, even as as you're the one that's driving home the content. Logistics is not necessarily your thing, but just being aware of that is always super helpful.
Okay. I mean, it all makes sense. It sounds to me like just about everything you mentioned near the end just had to do with customer service. Just good customer service.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So for my last question, for speakers who want to partner with bureaus, maybe they haven't partnered with any bureaus before, but they're interested. Can you share maybe 2 to 3 action items you'd suggest they take right now if they're listening? Want to hear Jeannette's advice on what action items you need to take to start working with more bureaus? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share Voices of Experience, the podcast of the National Speakers Association. Oh, download alert. Members of NSA can go to nsaspeaker.org/VOE podcast and download Glen's foolproof tech tips for a worry-free presentation. I'll see you next week when we'll hear part 2 of the Bureau Perspective and discover how to leverage video to grow our speaking businesses.